You have asserted that men shouldn't get married, that instead they should shack up.
I didn't say that.
You did say that with Trent
not say
Horn.
that.
Word for word, you said it makes more sense for them to shack up, live with a girlfriend, instead of getting married.
That is a golden advice, especially in America. Here in Thailand, you can't get married, you know, but in America, in European countries, absolutely. So I don't even understand how someone's getting shamed for giving men good advice.
Do you think the advice that you give to men is the type of advice that will fulfill their lives? Because
okay, well, let's hear the answer from Pearl. Let's see, we click here.
I'll tell you one thing. The best part of my life...
Of course, she's not gonna let her speak, because I think in her brain, she's like, oh shit. She's gonna say, yeah, that was the best advice. And every single man who knows anything about divorce, right? I haven't been divorced, but you know what I mean, agrees. All right, well, let the gaslighting continue here.
Is my husband. I love my husband. He's my rock.
That's good. All right, let's hear about her personal life. I'm actually quite interested. Someone who is proud to be married and believes that, you know, it's important to have a leader in a family.
My foundation. And no, my husband is number one.
So somebody yelled out, you know, he is right after your career, which there's no way it's not true, right? If you know who she is, there's no way there's anything else that's a higher priority than her career. If there was, then she wouldn't have this career, right? She would be making him a sandwich right now. But okay.
I love my career, but you know what my career did? When I met my husband, my career was already established. He, on the other hand, was couch surfing, he was in debt, and didn't know what he wanted to do with his life.
Wow. This is she like listening to herself at all? Because this is exactly the point. That the men who are willing to get married have nothing to lose, because they have nothing. And as a matter of fact, this is what happens to women who have careers. The real men don't want them. They don't want to put up with this shit. They don't want to be always number two at best, right? So they pass these women on to the losers. And she is married, essentially, by her own definition, she is married a loser. So guess who was paying the bills, right? If this guy is couch surfing, that's pretty much another word of homeless. A homeless person with some good friends, right? So she marries she meets this guy who is essentially homeless. She has an established career. Guess who's paying for the dinners? She literally marries someone who is playing a girl role in a relationship where she was playing the provider role. So she doesn't have a husband. She has a simp or a wife. It's amazing that she's not even, wow.
I married him anyway. You want to know why?
I just explained why. Because no one else would marry you, and this was easy. I'm sure he's a good little simp and a good little lapdog, and he does whatever and you can continue with your career and still have a lapdog. That absolutely, that makes all the sense in the world.
Because I had the economic to take care of me.
How tall is he?
Oh, he's 6'1", about you.
Of course he's 6'1". Of course. It's amazing how, you know, Anna must have seen the Red Pill content, and specifically Pearl's content, right? Where, you know, and I don't agree with Pearl that much. As a matter of fact, I think as a thought leader, and she's not that great, especially with statistics and numbers. She's just not very good. But, you know, if you saw her content, it's all about how real men don't want women with career, which is true. And the only men who go for women with careers are usually the ones that are simps, beta males, want to leech off of a girl, you know, and in a debate, for some reason, she kind of like, yeah, that's me. That's me, Anna. I'm proving your point for you while pretending like this is a debate. You know, I think this is one of the things that I always kind of like wonder about this world as I talk to other men. All men that I talk to in person are divided into very two clear camps, right? One, the ones that realize what the reality really is, right? That women are no longer the same, the rules are no longer the same, and as a matter of fact, if you want to be in a relationship, this is not the time. This is not the time to date. You will not be able to find a girl. Even here in Southeast Asia, it's getting almost impossible to be in a real relationship with. You kind of have to wait until the pendulum starts swinging the other way, which I believe 2026 is going to be the first year to finally see some of those signs. At least I can see things are not getting any worse for the dating scene, specifically for single men. Unless you're in Southeast Asia, then it's still... This first group of men realize that the only consumption of women right now is recreational use only. Now, the second group of men don't see this at all. They think that they think that things are exactly the same, and they are usually either simps or sympathizers, because some of them are already married, and so. And you can't convince them otherwise. You just cannot. I have tried to red pill so many simps, and first it's funny, they get angry at you. It's funny how all of a sudden they're manly men and they're gonna kick your ass, even though they're carrying their bowls in their wife's purses. My goodness, I literally saw. I wasn't out for that long today, maybe like an hour at the night market, and I seen 3 guys carrying their girlfriend's purses like little bitches. Wow. Well, anyway, so these are just 2 categories of men that everyone's divided in. But our job is to red pill as many simps as possible, because at the end of the day, everything that's wrong with dating and just generally the universe between men and women all comes down to the simps. If we can get the number of simps down, we don't have to completely eliminate them. I don't think it's going to be possible, because some of them are losers and therefore they have to simp. But if we can just get that number to a certain point where there's just like not enough simps for all the women, and the women who will be getting these simps are usually the ones that are the second, at the bottom of the sort of quality scale, then we got something. Especially if the better quality men, the higher quality men have walked away. See, that formula is, and I believe it's starting to happen, because a lot of men walked away, including myself. Right? I'm nowhere near American women anymore, and a lot of simps are just getting tired or run out of funds to simp anymore. Right? They realize that it's rigged, and I gotta tell you, also a lot of men realizing that it's much easier and cheaper, and it's just a better use of your time to buy what the only thing that they want from women. So all of that is finally starting to kind of create this momentum to not only stop the pendulum going this way, but finally is probably going to start going the other way. And that's when you're probably going to start thinking about dating again. But right now, do not date, no matter where in the world you are, pretty much. So, yeah. If you're a single guy and you're still dating, well, let me help you out when it comes to analyzing dating profiles. All you have to do is take snapshots of a dating profile of a girl you're interested in and upload it into this ChatGPT app called the Dating Profile Analyzer. It is free, and it will give you all the green, yellow, and most importantly, red flags about that profile. You're welcome.